My two huge question marks for Drew Lock is one, the tackle positions for both of these guys with Garrett Bowles. How long does he hold up for? What does he do this year? How does he go about his business? Now, if Garrett Bowles is able to show some improvement and all 16 games look like the last 5 games of the season, Drew Lock's going to be in a better position. But my next big gaping question that I don't know the answer to is how Drew Lock is going to be preparing. How long is it going to take him to get the timing down with these young wide receivers? And how much are these guys really paying attention to detail in these Zoom meetings? Because right now, we don't know when football is going to start. We don't know when these guys are going to be able to get into meetings, but we also don't know when they're going to be able to get on the field with each other. So that's what I think is going to be the hardest for Drew Lock, being a second-year player, is just working on his timing with these guys. Because you could have all the shiny toys in the world. If they're not at the right spot where Drew Lock wants to let that ball go and trust that he's going to believe and believe that they're going to be there, those plays could be, instead of a first down or moving the chains or a touchdown, those plays could be interceptions, overthrows in situations like that. Last week when Jeff Saturday came on air with Mike and Stink in the morning, that was the big thing that he talked about with Peyton, as far as telling receivers, hey, listen, I need to be able to trust you that you're going to get to a certain spot. And even if you're not there when that ball is coming out of my hand, you got to make sure that on that play you get to that spot. And I think that's going to be the biggest question mark with this offense, is how quick they could get the timing down and how quick Drew Lock could trust this young wide receiver corps.
I think there are a couple of points. One, I understand what he's doing. I think he's doing, and I agree with you on all the questions you had. But I think what he's doing is he's assuming there will be a full-length training camp at some point. Maybe it isn't in early August. Maybe it's early September.
Sandy,
for
I
all
think
we
Drew
know. But
needs
he's
longer than that.
assuming that everybody gets the same amount of work, and what might be tough for Drew Lock is also going to be tough for Tyrod Taylor, who's never been a quarterback starting for the Los Angeles Chargers before. Derek Carr has new receivers, actually several of them. And, Mahomes is Mahomes, and he's not going to need all that much time. But Drew Lock is used to learning this way. When he was on injured reserve last year, he did all kinds of virtual training and seemed, and I was dead wrong about this, he seemed to absorb it pretty well. I wondered about that. I wondered about a first-year quarterback learning that way, whether he would have the capacity to absorb things, especially since during training camp he seemed kind of lost to me. The second point is a minor quibble. He had Cortland Sutton as a rookie last year. Actually, Cortland Sutton was in his second year,
Yeah.
which in many ways reinforces the point that he's making about the jump between a rookie and then a second-year guy the following year. So actually, even if he had delivered the information that Sutton was in his second year, would have made his point even more pronounced, that the second-year guys, Noah Fant going into his second year, Drew Lock going into his second year, Philip Lindsay had pretty much the same sort of year, his second year, as he did in his first a year ago. But I agree with him on the idea that of these second-year quarterbacks, he's the most likely to make the biggest jump. And Pat Shurmur, of course, coached Daniel Jones last year. I think we will see more from Drew Lock this year than we'll see from Jones, Haskins, Stidham, even Minshew. Murray, I wonder about, because Murray's got some weapons now. I seem to remember a certain wide receiver who's a pretty good player getting traded by Houston to Arizona. Oh, what's his name? DeAndre Hopkins, right? And so I understand what he's saying. Give me your quickie opinion on this, O. Is Drew Lock, as Cowher seems to suggest, behind only Mahomes in the AFC West? Or do we still have to see whether Lock is better than Carr, is better than even Tyrod Taylor?
I think Drew Lock, hands down, is better than Tyrod Taylor right now. I
Okay.
think with Carr, there's a little bit ways to go. Just being able to continue to operate in an NFL style offense, continue to go out there and make plays. I think that Derek Carr, as far as Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes, they're in a better situation right now. Derek Carr is very much familiar with his offense and what they're going to be
Right.
running out there in Oakland. With Drew Lock, completely different offensive playbook. And last year, I do think there's different things that benefit Drew Lock. You learn that he's able to learn different types of ways, and he's honed in on exactly the way that he learns best after you seeing him with his 5 games last year. But at the same time, now it's just a completely different offense. And I just truly believe that at certain points, you could get to a point where it's information overload, and I don't want to see that happen to Drew Lock, where now whenever this opens up, it's kind of like, hey, you're running this stuff for the first time, full speed live, and there's little coaching points, and he's going to be largely responsible for getting KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy on the same page. You want to think that, hey, Noah Fant and Cortland Sutton, that those guys are going to be all right because those are professionals and they've played, but now Drew Lock also has to bring along a guy like Melvin Gordon that's now with the Broncos and learning this offense, and everything's ran through the quarterback. But as far as right now, I believe hands down that whatever you get out of the Los Angeles Chargers, that Drew Lock's going to be better, especially this year, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert. And I got to wait and see when it comes to Derek Carr out there with the Las Vegas Raiders, because I think Derek has a little bit a step ahead of him because of just the snaps and the repetition. It's also staying in the same offensive playbook this year.